What are the current problems? Here in America, not other parts of the world. Here in America, our economy is in the toilet. Hardly anybody's interested in the STEM fields. Our jobs are going overseas, and you have politicians that are pretty sure they have a solution to that. Oh, you need more science kids in the school? Let's make better science teachers. Well, there's a Band-Aid for you. Put that right there. Throw a couple of dollars on that one. That ought to fix that. How about our jobs going overseas? Okay, let me think about that. All right, how about put in some tariffs and make some tax incentives in the community? We'll keep the factory right there. Another Band-Aid. People aren't innovating? So we put money in sort of innovation businesses. Okay. These are all Band-Aids, people. They're Band-Aids. Here's what we got to do. And I've said this a billion times. You double NASA's budget. Right now it's a half a penny on a dollar. Half a penny. That pays for everything. Space station, all the centers, the Hubble telescope, the James Webb, the rover, the Kepler, everybody is out of that half a penny. You double it. Double it to a penny. That's all I'm going to say. Double it. And here's what you do. I'm a little unorthodox in this vision statement. I'm not going to twist people's arms. Let me just put it out there. I don't want to be driven by one destination or another. I don't want to say, our next thing we're going to do in space, we're going to go to Mars. It's like, excuse me, how about all the rest of space? You know what I want to do when you double the budget? Let's create a suite of launch vehicles. We're kind of sort of doing that now, but let's do that as the focus. A suite of launch vehicles with strap-ons, whatever you need. One configuration will get you to the moon. Another will get you to a Lagrangian point. Another will get you to Mars. Another will get you to the Earth-Sun L2, another Lagrangian point. Maybe there's an asteroid headed our way. We want to do something about that. We got another special configuration of rockets that'll get us there. So we create a suite of vehicles that gives us access to space. When Eisenhower came back from Europe after he saw the Autobahn and how it survived heavy climactic variation and troop maneuvers, he said, I want some of those in my country. All right? So he gets everyone to agree to build the interstate system. Did he say, you know, I just want to build it from New York to LA because that's where you should go? No. The interstate system connects everybody in whatever way you want. That's how you grow a system. And I'm not going to discriminate. If there's a military reason to do something on the moon, we got the launch vehicles to do it. If there's a tourist reason to go to the backside of the moon, well, that's another configuration. You want to mine the moon? That's another one. Scientists want to study, see if there's life on Mars? We'll do that too. Everybody's space interest gets served by this capacity. And when you do this, you guarantee that you are advancing a space frontier every week. And I can guarantee you every week there's going to be a new headline. Astronauts, engineers found a way to extract the water from the soils of Mars, separate the hydrogen and oxygen. We now have a supply of rocket fuel on Mars, a filling station, so you don't have to carry all your fuel with you. We're mining helium-3 on the lunar surface. I don't know if it's cheap enough to bring it back here to Earth, set up some other nuclear reactor somewhere else in space. Whatever are the needs or urges, be they geopolitical, military, economic, space becomes that frontier. And you know, every week some new invention is going to be granted. Some new patent is going to be offered. Because space is hard, space is dangerous, space is exciting. Not only do you innovate, these innovations make headlines, and those headlines work their way down the educational pipeline, and everybody in school knows about it. You don't have to set up a program to convince people that being an engineer is cool. They'll know it just by the cultural presence of those activities. You do that, it'll jumpstart our dreams. That's what it'll do. And you know innovation drives economies. It's especially been true since the Industrial Revolution. You double NASA's budget. It's not a handout. That's what it is today. That's what everyone thinks it is. It's a handout for special interest. You know what Mitt Romney got wrong when he criticized Newt Gingrich for pandering to Florida, the Florida constituency, by saying he'll do all these nice things for NASA? Romney said, you're just pandering to Florida. If you go to New Hampshire, you'll tell them something else about some bridge that they want. There's a deep misunderstanding there. The very statement that talking about NASA is pandering omits the fact that NASA drives our economy. The culture of NASA drives the culture of innovation, and it's the culture of innovation that drives the economies of the 21st century. That's what it's missing. Even if there's pork spending on NASA, even if there's pork, what comes out of that spending benefits the nation in ways that a power plant or a bridge or a local road does not. I can be honest about that, even if some of you can't, because you're in it, you're too close, I can say it, and I'm saying it. And you know what happens? The jobs do not go overseas. You don't have to set up tax benefits. They don't go overseas because we're innovating and they haven't figured out how to do it yet. It has to stay here in America. And you have to keep innovating. They'll eventually catch up, fine, hand it to them. You can't simultaneously assert that we are a global economy and then cry foul if a corporation takes a plant overseas where the labor's cheaper. That's kind of part of how that works. So the solution is not trying to just prevent that with laws. You innovate so that it doesn't happen in the first place. Teacher training, we need that. It is a necessary but insufficient condition to make this happen. You can have an awesome teacher in middle school, high school. Now you want to become a scientist. You come out the other end of that educational pipeline. What do? We lost an entire generation of these smart people. They became like investment bankers or lawyers out of the 1980s and 90s because there's no place for them to take their interest in science. You have big, bold, ambitious projects, you get them all. Especially since the NASA science portfolio involves biologists. We're looking for life. It's got chemists, geologists, astrophysicists, physicists. The NASA portfolio touches all of these. Not only that, we need the electrical engineers, the mechanical engineers, the structural engineers. NASA is a one-agency showdown. If we have an innovation culture, we'll resurrect some of that attitude we all had in the 1960s. Except this time it'll be without the tandem expensive war that was conducted. By the way, if China wants to put military bases on Mars, we're on Mars in 10 months. You know that, okay? They just have to leak that memo. Doesn't even have to be true. We'll take 1 month to fund, design, and build the craft, and 9 months to get to Mars. We'll be on Mars in 10 months. We already understand our resolve when we feel threatened. That aspect will remain. That capacity to react will remain. The difference is we need to look at NASA not as a handout, but as an investment. Because I can tell you that as the health As goes the health of spacefaring ambitions, so too goes the spiritual, the emotional, the intellectual, the creative, and the economic ambitions of a nation. So goes the future of America. Thank you all.